Know the American Legislative Exchange Council, you've probably been somewhat alarmed by some of the recent headlines of late. Well, Caitlyn's here to set us all straight and put us on the right page. It's certainly not the evil and shady organizations that those in the liberal media would have you believe it is. But over the course of probably the last year or so, liberal pressure groups and other organizations have really trained their focus on ALEC, and as Lachlan Marquet, our investigative reporter, put a piece together yesterday, really just alarming how so many of these groups are all tied together by George Soros and their funding in one way or another. So, Caitlyn, we welcome you to the Bloggers Briefing, and I'll turn it over to you to fill us in.
Thank you so much, and I'm sorry, my apologies to Representative Landry for bumping him on the schedule for a minute. But yeah, no, ALEC has been making a ton of headlines recently, and as Rob mentioned, this is an ongoing situation. These attacks have been coming for definitely over a year, and they really started after the 2010 elections, because state legislators were overwhelmingly dominated by limited government, pro-free market candidates who really believed in these values and were committed to making changes in their state in accordance with these values that we share. For those of us who don't know us, we're a 35-year-old organization. We work with members of the public sector and members of the private sector to share ideas, come up with the best free market solutions to a lot of these shared policy problems. And these ideas are very antithetical to groups, to a lot of left-wing groups, and they have been doing everything in their power to try to shut us down, shut down our effectiveness. And the toehold they've found in recent days have been ridiculous accusations, such as we killed Trayvon Martin. And I kid you not, we had 50 protesters outside our office in hoodies, and we're trying to fight back against these just patently false accusations. But as Rob also mentioned, we're the focus right now of a very coordinated, very well-funded effort. ColorOfChange, Center for Media and Democracy, Common Cause are these groups that are all funded by they're a very similar and the same donor base, and they're putting a lot of money and time and effort into shutting us down. So, but this isn't just about us, this is about all of you guys, because we all work to promote the same principles of free markets, limited government, and federalism. And we, if it's not us tomorrow, it'll be another one of you guys, and we need to start fighting back. So we are, on that note, we're launching a very aggressive campaign to really spread the word about what we actually do, to call out these people that are attacking us with very false accusations. We are going to have a website up in the next couple days called I Stand with ALEC, and that's going to be a means for citizens, free market advocates to get to express their support for these ideas and for people that support these ideas. And so I'll have that link out to Rob when that goes live. We have a coalition letter that Americans for Tax Reform is going to be distributing, and I think that went out this morning. And that we would love any and all institutional support, because, like I said, we're all in this together, and we're the flavor of the day. But this is definitely this is part of a wider effort to shut all of us down and to prevent us from being effective in sharing these values. So what I passed out today is a frequently asked questions sheet. For those of you who aren't familiar with ALEC, and I'm sure many of you aren't, we've haven't really been the subject of many headlines over the past 35 years, but that should answer a little bit more about how we work, where our funding comes from. We have a lot of nonprofit groups on board, and that's particularly kind of my area of focus. And they're policy groups. These are businesses that are committed to preserving free markets, and these are individual donors as well that really, really passionately believe that in the principles of federalism and limited government should be represented in state governments. So I also passed out our press release from this morning that talks about how we are refocusing our mission to support these values as effectively as we possibly can, what our true beliefs are, and what we're going to be doing going forward. So so thank you so much for all of your support. We're getting absolutely killed in social media venues, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest. I didn't even know Pinterest was a forum for a lot of political opposition, but it now is. So any and all new media support you guys can provide would be so helpful, not just to us, but to average people who don't know much about this fight, but are seeing us really get heavily attacked with very little opposition. So So with that, I guess I'll yield to Representative Landry. Thank you so much for